What's the biggest scam in life that no one wants to admit? The entire wedding industry. To be clear, not marriage but weddings specifically. I'm happily married to my wife and we were content to do something special, just the two of us, maybe spend a couple of grand and treat ourselves a little bit to something amazing. Cue the families getting involved, and before you know it we're spending closer to 20 grand on one day and feeding a bunch of people I've not heard of before since the wedding. Fashion trends, and the incredible amount of waste it creates. If everyone learned how to mend/alter garments in school, and value was placed on investing in a few quality-made items instead of a closet full of disposable fast fashion, there would be way less clothing in landfills and way less demand for chemical-laden garments to be cranked out in sweatshops. Our relationship to clothing is so warped. Buying second-hand is a great way to wiggle out of the grip of the fashion industry if it's available to you. The fact that airlines have X amount of seats per flight, but almost always sell X plus 10 seats and then refund you about 80% of your ticket cost. Do that to the 10 people and suddenly you have about 2 tickets worth of profit seemingly out of nowhere, and everyone still has a flight. Just an unbelievably immoral way to gain a few bucks, but everyone just goes with it since the airplanes aren't exactly a train that comes every 10 minutes. That climate change is up to each individual to go green. It was a campaign by BP that pushed the solution as each individual going green instead of the dozen massive corporations that account for the lion's share of greenhouse gases. Going green is good, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to oil companies, industrial farming, and cargo ships. Edit, lots of yet you participate in society, curious type comments from the usual contrarians. Your hot air is adding to the problem. Overpriced healthy food versus cheap garbage food. Hot dogs are cheaper than carrots where I live, that's flocked. Edit, people you can't grow your own food in a small studio apartment or even a one-bedroom with your partner. A lot of people can't afford the space for that, but everyone should be able to buy healthy food at a reasonable price. Insurance. My great-grandfather was a doctor, and there were stories of him treating people, often for free. He and his wife helped an entire family with scarlet fever in exchange for a jar of blackberry jam. The lobby around requiring most Americans to file their taxes with the IRS, while the IRS already has all the relevant information. Edit, yes, we know there's benefits for you tiny percentage of self-employed individuals and business owners. Credit. You can be in debt to me, and if you remain consistently in debt to me but make regular payments on your debt, you can be more in debt to me. And if you don't make regular payments, you cannot be more in debt to me, and you also have to pay me more money for the debt you already have. Also, this debt-to-debt ratio will determine whether you're reliable enough to be hired for certain job fields, can have shelter of your own, and many other things that, without, would make it harder for you to sustain the debt-to-debt ratio. Like my credit is great, but what the flock dude? Insurance that doesn't even pay for what you need, so, most insurance of most types. A vast majority of people I've ever met would be better off putting the same amount they pay for various insurances into a savings account for emergencies, that they can then cover what insurance pretends to help with when things go wrong. But you have to have insurance, so on top of their other bills, paying for insurance, high cost of living, and having to pay for everything insurance says isn't their problem, people can't just do the savings idea. 1 mandatory arbitration agreement/requirements. 2 most NDAs and non-compete requirements. 3 asset forfeiture laws where you get things taken from you without any due process. 4 employers/companies not being held to fair wage and hour and other employee guidelines, as well as not paying their payroll taxes.